in most things, you feel like if you put in enough effort, you should be able to accomplish your mission, but that certainly isn't the case, and that's I guess what draws, I think, probably a lot of people to hunting, is the fact that there's no guarantee in that when you do actually accomplish what you're set out to do, which is, find and kill a legal ram. That's what makes it that much more special. I mean, clearly.
Let the adventure begin. Get out of here! Get!
I didn't maybe use the words that, I was owed a ram, but you feel like, okay, you put on more miles than the average hunter, that, the outcome should be you come back with a legal ram. That's not the case. A lot of hunters have been kind of robbed of the experience. You could say, they've got their ram hanging on the wall, but if they come across a ram within the first 2-3 days, they haven't really sheep hunted. They've been in the right place at the right time, but they haven't really had the whole experience. So I think that's where I've been very fortunate to be able to come back again and give it a try. For a second time, because 20 some days out there trying to find a sheep, just you have that much more respect for that animal. Quite frankly, the work that the guide and the outfitters do, trying to get guys like us on sheep.
Definitely not raining any longer.
Kevin is like a dog on a bone. There is no quit in that guy, and when he's fighting for something, he will not let go.
And there's, I think, certainly a reason why, the Lord didn't say that, okay, let's kill a ram on the first day. He's going to be over this ridge, go ahead and kill him and, fly back to camp and come home. That it's going to be 20 some days. There's usually a reason for everything. So I think that's part of the emotion too. It takes a long time to process. I'm still processing it, without a doubt. And I know I will for years to come.
And I think it's safe to say Kevin had never experienced a more life-changing moment in all his years of hunting.
I'm guessing he'll shoot here in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Right there if you like it. Reload. You missed.
Where we live, whitetail hunting, you're in a tree stand, you have to have a lot of patience. But I think the sheep hunt, just the physical challenge of it, I felt like I was young enough, and if I was going to do it, I needed to do it, at least give it a try sooner than later. So the physical aspect, not really comprehending what it takes to, mentally persevere through the whole process. I would say that's probably the thing that I don't know how you could really know that going into it without experiencing it. Yeah, because mentally I certainly wasn't prepared the first time. The second time, definitely much more so, but you still, when you're in the heat of the moment and you're 8 or 9 days into it and you're pretty well physically spent, mentally you tend to kind of melt down no matter what. You just have to kind of get numb to it and persevere. You have to have a tremendous amount of patience. So even though around here you have to have patience by just sitting still in the tree stand, if you get weathered in, you just have to just go with it.
I think maybe the hardest thing for most of my clients is that in our modern world, a CEO, a businessman, a business owner, they're just so used to working hard and making things happen. And if you have that attitude in the Alaskan wilderness, that's how people get killed. There's a fine line of pushing too hard. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. So far, no rams, just lambs and ewes.
You have to push hard when the opportunity presents itself. If you're putting on a stock, that you just have to give it all you've got. But you get up in the morning, you're all ready to go, you have breakfast, and all of a sudden the clouds roll in. You're like, it's day 5, I'm gonna lose day 5, I'm gonna, you're counting down the days. And so patience for me was huge. I'm used to controlling, or at least attempting to control everything that happens throughout the day. In business, that's kind of the name of the game. You have to be able to control what's going to happen next and predict what's going to happen next. And so living that lifestyle for such a long period of time, and then going to this where it's out of your control, other than the fact that when your guide says, all right, we're ready to go, the wind's right, the weather's right, we can go, you know, okay, so now you're kind of just, it's out of your control to some degree. So that was the hardest part for me to probably overcome, is the fact that you can't just, make some phone calls and we'll go this way instead of that way. No, the wind's not right, the weather's not right. You just have to sit still. Go back in your tent, read a book, walk around the tent a few times. That's pretty difficult mentally.
Your toes look like you've been swimming for a while, Kevin. Maybe you have.
You were a little damp.
We're living the dream here. This is what sheep hunting's all about. Nestled in a little tent. Got coffee and cider going.
Pretty nice and cozy in here.
Yeah, cozy, that's a good word. Sheep pretty wet outside.
Nice and dry in here.
Yeah, we're staying dry, knock on wood, thus far.
Whether it was some disease or weather or a combination thereof, the population was down a little bit, so we knew that it was going to be probably a little bit more of a challenge than what you've normally seen over the years.
You have your boarding pass, Kevin, for this plane ride?
I'm thinking this is flight 007. Is that right, Billy?
Yep.
Departure time, hopefully today, but we haven't gotten an announcement yet. So we might just be packed up with no place to go.
Yep.
From our base camp, we weren't able to get flown out to a new camp right away, so we ended up just taking off, which was actually a pretty fun evening. We were kind of laughing and hee-hawing, and all of a sudden, you were in front of me, and you hit the ground, and then you said, "Get down," and I'm like, "Well," you said, "Get down and get your gun." Well, the first thing you did is pulled out your video camera. I'm like, well, if it's that serious, maybe you just want to get footage of it. But if it's a bear, I don't, pulling out your video camera is going to do a whole lot. But soon I realized that it wasn't a bear, that there was actually a wolf down, over the ridge.
Wait for him to stop. Are you on him? Take him whenever you can. Wait for him to stop though. Reload. Give him another one. I think you missed that time. Good. Hit him if it feels really good, or otherwise wait for him to stop. Figure 400. Smoked him. No, did you?
Yeah.
No, I think you hit him.
Oh, did I?
I'm pretty sure you hit him.
Yeah, it felt good, but
I'm pretty sure you hit him. He turned on the shot and there was water blowing everywhere. Yeah, he stopped. Hey, what did I tell you? I said this trip will be worth it if you shoot a wolf.
holy buckets, Billy!
Sweet. He was looking when I was telling some long-winded story, and he was looking right at us.
I thought you spotted a grizzly like coming over the hill. So
oh, yeah, you were moving pretty quick. That is awesome, and I'm on no battery either. We got lucky to sneak that in. That was cool.
Awesome.
I'm 95%. You hit him on that last one.
It felt
might have grazed him or something.
The way he reacted, it just didn't seem like.
Yeah, he turned on the shot. Yeah, that was worth hiking 10 miles.
Way to go, buddy.
It looks like a pretty good sized one.
That's it.
We just poked over this corner and this wolf was looking at us. He saw us. I was kind of talking. Just been hiking for 4 hours straight now, and so we're trying to just kill the time. We got another mile to go to camp and poke over, and there's a white wolf looking at us. I dropped down and Kev was moving pretty fast. Didn't know why I was freaking out. This area, I've always seen wolves, never gotten one out of here, and yeah, we finally after all these years of seeing wolves in here, we finally got one. But a beautiful trophy. We got a lot of work to do. It's late, but that was worth 10-mile hike.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Billy.
I had high hopes at that point because it just, you know, you had hunted that area a lot and you were like, you know, you consistently had seen legal rams in that trek. I think it was going to be maybe a 2 to 3 day trek up the valley, over a ridge, and then down the next valley.
Scenes like this remind me why I do what I do. Just to take in some scenery like this. Pretty humbling, pretty inspiring. And to chase the sheep around in it. It's pretty cool.
A number of them where I remember you pulling up the spotting scope and saying, boy, they're close, but you know, it's not worth taking off after where they're at to go get a closer look, because you knew that it was just very, very marginal. So that was probably what, by the time we got done with that, day 7-ish, something like that.
They're getting bigger, Kevin. Kevin just spotted looks like 7/8, not full curl anyway.
I just knew that it was going to be a long haul for some reason. I don't know why. I certainly didn't feel like we were just going to come over that next ridge and there's going to be that legal ram and okay, we found him, you know.
And we were hungry. Our bodies were sore at that point. I remember eating some trail mix, and Kevin dropped a peanut, and I got the impression that he was just going to let it lay there, and so I dug through the tundra and grabbed it. He's like, oh, I was going to grab it. You know, we were not going to let a single calorie go to waste.
I think when we were joking about the wolf backstraps, I actually was not completely joking, and I thought, you know, if we absolutely had to, we could probably cook those up and it'd be a little protein. I mean, you know, it's meat. I mean, I don't think it'd kill you.
12:30 in the morning. What's better, laying down or eating anything?
It's hard to choose right now. Those are really our only two options.
When we finally set up our camp that night and went to bed, it was 1:30 in the morning. I remember looking at my watch, and I don't know if there's ever been a time in my whole entire life that I was more tired. I fell asleep. A couple hours later, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't know when it was, Kevin was jabbing me in the side. He's like, Billy, there's something outside. And I don't even think I opened my eyes, and I didn't care. I just said, yeah, it's probably a bear. Hopefully he goes away. And I went back to sleep. Until that bear started growling, scratching the tent, or probably, to be honest, biting one of us in the leg and dragging us out and eating us, I could have cared less. I was sleeping.
Hunted a couple more days, but just couldn't come up with a legal ram.
That doesn't look very fun. I think that one's here to stay. He's gonna be your friend for at least 10 days.
I think it'll be cured.
Hope you're right. Three more inches, Kev. Where have we heard that before? It's always disappointing. I kind of take it personal. I always try to, you know, consider, all right, what could I have done different? What should I have done better to, you know, gotten my client a ram? But that is hunting. You should always be looking to improve, but when you eliminate the chance of not getting an animal, you no longer have hunting.
It did take me a couple years to just kind of process that hunt and realize that, okay, I've got to get back on the horse and ride again. I got to try this I don't want to just give up and say, well, I tried it and I never, you know, never accomplished what I was set out to do.
Just like that, one gets whisked away from the wilderness. It's over before you know it. Definitely bummed that Kevin didn't get a ram. I know he is too, but that's the way it goes. Definitely wasn't for lack of effort. 90 miles, that's over 90 miles. That's the most miles I've ever put on. Making sense out of all this garb. At base camp, got a beautiful evening, going through our gear, getting everything lined out. Weather permitting, head to the mountains tomorrow. Well, Dougie, you ready for this?
Sure am. Let her begin.
We didn't make her out last night. A good night's rest. A little bit of rain this morning. Heading to Rock Pile. It's where we hunted last year. Took a good ram, 9.5 years old. Saw a bunch of others, so hopefully we can get lucky there again. Kevin's first hunt was 2 years after we had a winter die off. Several years had passed and our sheep herd had rebuilt. All the clients I'd had between Kevin's first hunt and his second, they were all successful. So I had a lot of confidence. I was very confident, you know, we're gonna get it done this time. With us we had Doug Elliott, my packer, great guy, one of my best friends. Doug's a family man, a farmer. I think he's 36, 37 years old at the time, and just a lot of hunting savvy, but more importantly, he just had the heart for it. You know, he wanted to do it. I mean, obviously the guy left his farm and his wife and his kids just to experience Alaska. So I knew he was going to be a huge asset. In our everyday life, we have the ability to recruit people to do things for us, to help us. It's almost like we can do anything in our modern society. You just keep working at it hard enough. And while that's true on an Alaskan hunt, you can keep working harder and harder, but there is a fine line there. At some point, you've got to know when to stand back, when to hold off. Because if you don't, Alaska will eventually kill you. There's too many variables out there. It is just simply a matter of time that if you don't use restraint, caution, patience, it will kill you. Everything's really green up here up high. It looks like we've been getting a lot of rain and moisture up high. Down low, everything's fairly brown this year. All these little creeks seem to be pretty swollen. The main rivers seem normal. So it's always different a little bit each year, different light coming into the strips. Sometimes guys will just come right in and see the line and floop, flop right in, land. This year everything looked a little different. This pretty much sums up our working relationship, huh, Doug? You're doing the work and I'm just kind of acting like I'm videoing stuff.
Kind of video. Yeah, I got to get over here and video this real quick.
hold on. Now,
While you work.
give me a minute. I'll help you in a minute. At least it's not raining. Oh wait.
Haven't really seen any caribou in here for years, but there's a few up there. I don't have any binoculars on me, but they sure look like caribou from here. Runway markers. They'll use the antlers so they can see them coming from far away on the approach, and then the rocks just give them a guide, a line, help keep everybody safe.
Yeah, hopefully the little bears get fat and happy off of these blueberries this year.
Now is the first time of year.
No, and I caught it. Automatic.
Thank God, 'cause I don't know if I could do it again.
What'd you do, Ella? Oh, pretty close.
She lands airplanes, catches blueberries in her mouth.
With that little piece of land 3 miles away, you know, that really helps to line up on.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Alrighty, hopefully we'll bring you Kevin tonight.
Very good.
We'll bring him tomorrow. So
Alrighty.
we got time. We'll get him here before opening day. So.
Well, Dougie, what's going through your mind?
It's gonna be like last year. We start every year right here. Go for a little trek in the morning. Dump over the hill there. Sheep country. Get Kevin a big one.
So watching those airplanes fly away and it slowly gets silent. What's that? That's kind of like it's like a pretty pivotal moment in the whole journey, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I said. When they all flew out, it's time to clock in now. So.
Yep, it's go time. It kind of comes real.
Yeah.
It's like that's when your own like personal journey begins. You know, you got all the riffraff of, you know, traveling, getting here and everything at base camp, getting everything ready, hanging out with everybody else. But then it's like each person's own personal journey begins right now.
This is what you wait for, that plane to leave.
Yeah, yep. That's where like the magic happens, you know. From now until you like lift off and head to base camp, it's like a, that's it. That's where.
This is why you come up here. I mean, now it's God's country time. You know, all that noise, everything else is gone.
Right.
Time to soak it in, enjoy it. wait till it's chewing on your leg. Cheers.
One bite. That's lunch. Yeah, you know you're in sheep camp when lunch is just a big peanut butter spoon. Is this mine?
Yeah.
Sweet. And a free hair. You're around it.
Experience the beauty, vastness, the unforgiveness,
Welcome to Alaska.
and the thrill of the Alaskan wilderness firsthand. Log on to BillyMollsAdventures.com and request for Billy to personally help you select your own Alaskan adventure. Here, you'll also find information on hosting Billy as a public speaker for your next corporate event, Christian outreach, or conservation organization. Log on today and live the adventure.
Hey, how you doing? We're good. Good. How you been?
We're good.
Travel good?
Yeah.
No problems?
It's fine.
I think Kevin got in here just in the nick of time. 5 p.m. Clouds rolled in just a few minutes before they got in here. So we got 2 days before season. Plan is we'll sit tight. As long as the weather's fairly decent tomorrow, we'll take off, we'll sleep in, get a good night's rest, eat a couple good meals, and then tonight and tomorrow morning anyway, and then we'll take off, head up that canyon, just bring that teepee with us. We'll all bunk in there together, nice and cozy like. Let the adventure begin. But yeah, that wind, it's brisk out of the north there, and it's got some bite to it, a little bit of moisture. Well, Doug and I are doing our best to impress Kevin here. We set up his tent, put the rain fly on inside out. Boys at Stone Glacier are going to be impressed with the pictures I take with their logo backwards. Well, Kevin, this is kind of about where it ended. What was it, 4 years ago you came?
About that.
2015, so yeah, that's pretty good Turtle Lake math. Kevin is my I wouldn't say next door neighbor, but friend, and went to same high school, Turtle Lake native, still live there, but you're back to try her again.
Darn right.
And what are we looking for this time? What did you learn? What do you expect?
A lot of patience.
With your guide, or
Everything.
what we saw, I think we saw like 25 rams last time you were here. None were legal, and unfortunately you went home without one.
Yeah, it seems like we've seen a lot of sheep, probably more than I expected.
Yeah, just none big enough.
I heard the term a number of times, it's close, but not quite there.
And maybe one of those rams that we saw 4 years ago is going to be one we're going to shoot. Hopefully.
Yeah.
One of their descendants, nonetheless.
Well, it's a beautiful day, so we'll give it a shot. See if the weather holds out.
So we are headed up this drainage in the background. Morning before season. Got Doug loaded down with 30 pounds of food, 10 pounds of toilet paper. So we're gonna go up here and spike out for the night and hit her bright and early in the morning. A little over an hour into our hike. Probably got pushing 3 miles past us, another 3 miles to go. Worked out a kink in my knee already, which usually seems to be the case. I usually get a kink in a knee or a hip or thigh muscle or something, and just keep pouring water down and everything works itself out. Usually my shoulders are the sorest thing on me. To be honest, I don't really pack a lot for pre-season preparation. Probably should do a little more, but been doing it so long I can usually get into condition pretty good. But the neck and shoulders are usually the sorest thing on me. Fair number of caribou tracks in here. Seen some lambs and ewes across the river from camp. Iron out any sore muscles yet?
Good.
Dougie?
Good and warmed up.
Yeah, I'm just starting now to feel the sweat a little bit. Feels good. I'm about ready to drink a bottle of water. I think by the time we get up to camp, I'll be feeling real good. Rinse the muscles out. Always feels nice. Pretty well got this trail up to this camp pretty well memorized. Pretty much take the same, not really a trail, but cross the creek in the same spots. Find the same paths and stuff. A beautiful day. No bugs. Nice little breeze. A few drops of rain. Life is good. Sheep hunting in Alaska. 20th year in the Brooks Range. A lucky man. Stopped along the way for a water break. Do a little glassing. Dougie spotted a sheep just after he crossed over that saddle to the right. Five-ace ram. That'd have been too easy if he was full curl. Anybody could do that. It's what he does best. Carry stuff and eat stuff. Camp 1.
Downright toasty in here.
Yeah, pretty sweet.
Holy smokes. You get socked in, this will be just absolute luxury.
Yeah, stand up, stretch out, no doubt. Clearing up, getting ready to take off. Same young ram we spotted yesterday. Popped out. With a 3 or 4 year old. Plan is, Kevin and I will just scoot around here a couple miles and check out the head of this drainage. Doug's gonna go walk down to one of these rocky points and just sit and glass this country. These sheep kind of like to cross in over back and forth from this side like this ram did yesterday. Just having Doug here is kind of handy. We'll just go down there and make sure we're not missing anything. There's always sheep in here. It's a matter of bumping into them and figuring out where they're at. Looks like we got a nice day. Got a lot of blue sky above us. Clouds are lifting. Good bit of breeze to blow them out. Got a big day planned. Once we check that out up there, we'll head up this drainage, run this ridge, and go to the headwaters. There's a big fork. Each side of the fork goes 3-4 miles a piece back in, way up to some glaciers. So we're in good sheep country, got lots of miles to put on. We're gonna get at her. Made her to the head, or as far as we're gonna go up here anyway. Haven't seen any sheep. Haven't spotted a little bull caribou feeding. Got to glassing around a little bit more, and there's at least 4 of them bedded in the rocks there. One's pretty good.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, he ain't bad. 3 days in the mountains. Seen more caribou in the mountains this year than I have the past probably 3 or 4 years combined. So I think the wolves are pretty well thinned out now. And I suppose their food source has regenerated a little bit. It'd be nice to see if they start coming back already. I wouldn't have expected them to be back in here so soon. But actually in the mountains here we've been seeing fewer and fewer caribou for the past 15 years. Virtually non-existent for the past few. So it's nice to see. We're getting our workout today. The caribou walk up this stuff like it's nothing. Grade right through there. It's not a very effective caribou call. They winded us. She's windy. Got about a 20-knot crosswind up here. 90% of the times we see rams when we pop over here, but the best spot is right back in this basin. On this ridge, check it out in there. Well, we crested over. Three rams.
Snow's moving in. Clouds are dropping. We got another 500 vertical feet and a mile to climb, or a mile to go, 500 vertical feet. Get over into that basin. Peek down in there. Hope we can get over there before our visibility is gone. Get up to this ridge, eyeball them again, make sure there's nothing over here, see if we can't get out of sight of them, watch them a little bit. But where we want to camp is just over this point right here. Right there, just tucked over there. We were exposed for a little bit. They hid down and went down into a chute. Long enough for us to get across that ridge. So we're totally hidden from them now, about a good mile and a half away. But this is all good sheep country, so we're definitely on the lookout. That right there is where we'll camp tonight. Part of the trip. Nothing to prepare for that, is there? Wisconsin. Yeah.
Gotta add that to your 15 for Alaskan video. Some rock slides.
Side hill on marbles. Well, she's a little chilly. We finally just spotted one of them. I haven't put the scope on him, but he looks very small-bodied. Well, we waited him out for about an hour and a half. Froze their buns off. They seemed embedded in this draw. We saw one little one, we'd see bits and pieces of a couple other ones. But we just decided we're just gonna ease down to that bench down there, set up our tent. That way we should be able to poke up and see them. Wind should be good. They're a mile and a half away from us, but they just don't seem to be moving much. So we're still trying to confirm one is legal. We really don't know. We know one is close, but yeah, she's pretty cold. That wind is stiff. Kevin's really glad that his guide told him, don't bring puffy pants, don't bring heavy gloves. You look cold.
Freaking freezing.
Then you got old Dougie here. I told Kevin, I was like, you don't want to be too comfortable. What kind of an adventure is that? Chaco guide would tell you to bring all that stuff. Well, he's right there. Not real massive. He's just a little short, full curl. Here's our camping spot for the night. Dougie's a good man. He does everything I ask of him. He set up the camp while I went up there and took a look at that ram. What I don't ask of him, he usually just does on his own. So we'll do some supper, crawl back up there. Maybe they'll move around a little bit. And definitely before we take off tomorrow morning, we'll try to get a better look at them. It's kind of like maybe this is day 12 of your first hunt. I don't think he's quite full curl. From what I'm seeing, he's not. He's not super massive.
You can see all four of them?
No, so we've got that going for us. I saw two. Definitely wasn't that little one down below. So we've for sure seen three, so there's one mystery ram there. So, but yeah, he's just bedded, and I just caught a glimpse of that half curl ram, so we'll maybe just eat supper and then we'll crawl up there. He'd be a good one for you to look at too, he's just right there, but everything I'm seeing, he's not quite full curl yet. But there might be a big one in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's more hiding spots as we find out. I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
How long did we lay there? And nothing.
Yeah. Hour and a half.
We went to spotted those 3 as we were coming across.
Yeah. If we were about 15 minutes later, we would have walked right past it. Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Yeah. So Robert Dickey, you got to smoke your cigarette once in a while. Let them show up.
Just drinking our coffee.
And same thing.
By Starbucks on the way.
Yeah, I can smell it. Yeah. Same thing with that ram yesterday. You know, if we were, granted, I guess we saw it this morning, but I mean, we could have walked right past that thing. So yeah, you got to get lucky. And guy definitely misses some sheep. There's no doubt about that. Pretty primo deluxe camping spot though, isn't it? Kind of hidden, right? Sheep. This is one of those spots you wake up in the morning and there's sheep right there, you know?
Well, we'll wake up outside the tent because we're going to slide right down. So we'll get a good glance at it.
Might get a bath. We'll have to prop some rocks up on the inside, sleep against.
Got water, like, I mean, it's just, yeah.
Hope we don't have water too close in the morning. Hot freeze dried's hitting the spot tonight. Our rams in question are right over here. Now we got all 4 of them to poke their mangy heads out. Pretty darn dark.
Yeah, it's so tough to tell when it turns like that.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably just try to get an eyeball on them again in the morning. They should be right in here somewhere. Morning, day 3, I guess, second hunting day. I'll leave camp 6:30. I'm gonna go try to relocate these rams. Get a firm eyeball on them. Well, these rams, we were closing in on them. We were probably 700 yards away-ish. They must have followed that cut all the way down, and then we spotted them and they were working their way up. What do we got now? 9:30. Doubt they'll bed here all day, but they're about 800-900 yards away up on that point.
They're pretty much untouchable where they're at. I mean, we can wait it out, but I think it's probably best to move on and pursue something that's clearly you're confident that it's legal and we don't have to worry about walking up on it. So
yeah, I think that legal minimum, I guess that's a good standard, and I think it's a great thing. And I know that I'm ultra conservative, just from the standpoint that I figure if you flirt with that threshold, eventually it's going to backfire. This ram, I would say it is legal, but I'd probably be holding my breath until we walked up to it, and I don't think that's fair to anybody involved, and perhaps more so the sheep. He's 8 years old at the absolute most, and he's probably got 2-3 good years of life in him yet, and there's bigger, older ones out here. I don't even know if it matters that it's early in the hunt, but yeah, to shoot an animal that you're not 100% certain of, I don't know, 10 years ago, I'd have probably done it. I'd be confident enough that it's legal, but I think strangely I probably get more conservative as I get older and more experience. I guess that maybe comes from walking up to an animal, walking up to more animals than one that aren't quite as big as you think they are. And if you're using the legal minimum as a threshold, obviously you're leaving yourself no margin for error there. Just like Kevin said, I think we'll grade around, continue on, seeing how it's colder than sin anyways. Wind is pretty brutal. We'll just grade around here roughly to where the sheep were and see if we can see this 4th one. I'm 99% certain the 4th one, we're looking at the biggest one, but you never know. We've come this far and we got nothing to lose other than a little bit of energy and time, which we can afford. So, if that sounds good to you guys, I think that's what we'll do. Dougie's down a walking stick.
it means we got a little negotiating going on. He's got a pair of mitts that I could really use right now. So, I don't know. We'll keep bartering. I can maybe give up one walking stick as long as we're side hilling.
Pass it back and forth. Here, I'll trade you the glove for the
trekking pole for now.
Got these, I ain't got nothing.
Told the guys, you know, 20 years from now when we're sitting on our porch, the three of us, and drinking beer and talking about this hunt that we went on in the Brooks Range back in 2019, what kind of a story is it going to be? Yeah, my hands were sure warm on that hunt. That's no good. I want to give them the full flavor of the adventure.
I don't know if I agree with that, but let's just go along for the ride.
Yeah, if you ain't miserable, you ain't sheep hunting the right way, I don't think. Alrighty, well, we'll saddle up and keep on trucking. We're gonna call that trekking pole canyon. Dougie shattered his, Kevin lost the tip of his. Too much side hilling. Well, that's a wrap for that one. We got 10 days left. We're gonna try to find us one. The wind is hopping. Probably better stay 10 feet behind me, Kevin, so my nose snot doesn't fly back and hit you in the face. It's flying all over the place. Wind is ripping through here. I don't think I've ever seen it so windy up here, particularly up in these mountains. Usually not much wind at all. Got a ram here, a little over 3/4 curl.
Seen the light. Oh, it's been so cold. The sun is shining.
Kevin's licking his chops in this one. Pretty good bull. We've seen some nice ones. They're curious. Pretty much everyone we've seen is coming to check us out. Well, canyon behind me was a bust. Didn't even see really any sheep sign to speak of in there.
What's that? I think so. That's all there.
Yeah, frame and width wise, definitely. So we're packing camp back up. I'm gonna head about 4 or 5 miles downstream to another good canyon and go from there. I don't believe I've ever seen clouds like that in all my life. It's like upside down frosting.
Cool.
Yeah, they're wild. They are cooking too. Got a 7/8 ram. Maybe there's some more up in there. Grizzly bear. Bear is right in our path. Got the GoPro on just in case things get interesting, but we're gonna work up ahead. Got up on the tundra bank, we're gonna work ahead, get up above the bear, hopefully without it seeing us so it doesn't think we're something it can eat, and then let it wind us. Hopefully then it'll vamonos, maybe? I don't know. Definitely want this bear to smell us and take off because I don't want to lose any sleep tonight. And I don't want to have to shoot a bear and skin it out, forfeit it to Fish and Game. And I don't want to have to shoot the bear for the bear's sake. Let's all stand together. Get out of here! Get! Get out of here! Well, let's hope that's the last we see of that one.
Are you young enough to be a little curious? Huh?
Yep. If it were a bigger bear, I wouldn't have woofed at it, but I'm kind of hoping it's going to be like, I don't want to tangle with another bear.
Come back this way?
I think it is. That dirty dog. Get out of here! Get! Yeah! Ah! Wind's blowing hard up the valley, so hopefully once we get in here, it'll get our scent. That seemed to do it. That sucker was circling around back on us, so. I think that punk was coming back for us. I know he was. It's one thing that I tell guys, if you know, we're planning on camping just down here a half mile, we don't want that bear to surprise us. So ideally, the thing was kind of walking into the wind with us. Ideally, we would have gotten in front of it. That was our plan. But as we were walking up on this side hill, keeping an eye on it, it saw us, which I kind of figured it might. I woofed at it because it's a young bear. But he kind of took off, then he stopped, but then he started circling back on us. Then I kind of charged out at him, yelled at him, and that seemed to put some fear into it. So I think we're okay. Once we get down here, it'll smell us for sure. So
This will smell Doug.
yeah, they'll smell Doug's baby farts. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have to deal with him. Well, morning of day 3. Feels like we've officially entered sheep hunting mode. Fatigued. Yesterday was a big day. A lot of miles. Got up at 5:30. Basically going the whole time until 7:30. A lot of hard miles. 2 of them were side hilling. Those are the toughest on a shaly hillside. Slept over 8 hours last night. We all agreed we slept pretty darn good. So it's kind of like sheep hunting is this mental roller coaster. We were talking about how all 3 of us had the same experience that I mentioned it. Neither Doug nor Kevin said anything at the time until today, but when we were walking down this rocky drainage, how there was times where like your mind kind of goes numb and you wander and you're just focusing on the rocks that you're stepping on, and your mind just like totally gets away from you, and like all of a sudden you come back to reality. You kind of like forget where you are. It's a mental challenge. The sheep hunting, you get so fatigued, so hungry, so tired, so just wore down all the way around. And that's kind of the beauty of it, I guess, to some strange way. See things like that grizzly bear we saw yesterday, and kind of even forget why you're even out here. And then all of a sudden you spot that ram and it's like everything snaps back into place and the hunt's on. And when it all comes together, it's just so meaningful, I guess. Maybe even transformational of some sort, but the hunt is real now. Now we're
going into some of these side drainages where we probably, I think, are very, very low odds that we'll see any rams, but we gotta check them out. We're trying to coordinate a move for tonight. Hopefully tomorrow would be just fine, and try to get into some fresh country. We've definitely hit the best pockets in this particular area, so maybe we'll get lucky, but if not, we'll have to head to some new country. Aren't those tussocks a treat?
Love them.
It's like
Between that and Side Hill and Billy.
yeah. I think Side Hill's like 3 or 4 steps, equivalent of 3 or 4 steps. This is about 3 steps as well. Pretty gnarly. You stay out of the yellow ones, into the brown or red. They're a lot drier, not nearly as bad. Kind of taking a shortcut. We're gonna check out this canyon here. They're just ankle busting little devils, so you gotta step between them, otherwise you'll topple over. They've got a slang name that won't be politically correct to share, but they are nasty.
A little change from yesterday, huh?
Just a little. Yeah. Freezing.
Stop for just 30 seconds, you'd be cold.
Old heavy's in here somewhere.
We've all had diuretic issues, broken trekking poles.
I kind of just settled on the fact that Billy wasn't going to get that stove going last night, so I poured myself a cold cup of coffee.
Yeah, times are getting pretty tough then.
And then all of a sudden you get down, and then it's up because you got her going. And
Yep, it doesn't take much to make a guy happy at that point. Then you probably knew, okay, these two chachacos can't get a fire going, so we're screwed.
Just
not like I was talking.
Billy Molls, huh?
I was talking about
Sidewalk.
That sheep ain't big enough. Chased off by grizzly bears. Got no food to eat. Billy Molls sheep hunt.
Freezing to death on top of a mountain, looking at a sublegal ram.
Bring my warm clothes, guide? No. Don't bring them.
too much weight. Puffy pants.
They don't weigh anything, so don't pack.
Yeah, Kuyu doesn't know what they're up against sponsoring this guy. Yeah. Well, you had me buy all that fancy stuff, but he wouldn't let me carry it up the mountain.
Let me bring it.
Here's Doug. Doug's pulling out his lightweight puffy pants, heavyweight puffy pants.
Which one should I go with? How cold am I?
I suppose it's just like anything. If you don't have any skin in the game, if you're not actually, shelling out the money for it, you don't value it. Doug bought it, so he's willing to use it.
Damn it, I'm carrying it around.
I'll get it for free, man. You don't need that. It's junk.
If I had only just analyzed that, when Billy said it, and lifted up my puffy pants, like, what's it really gonna matter?
I was literally packing mine when he told you not to bring yours.
You heard him say that?
Yeah. I just kept my mouth shut. Listen to your guide. I ain't.
Yeah, good times. Just pretty much trying to convince Kevin that this is just a fairy tale in the making here. We're in day 3, kind of going through some of the roller coaster emotions of sheep hunting, and yeah. So I'd say, it really wouldn't be a true sheep hunt until we get into at least day 8 before we kill something.
Well, what is this, Kevin? This day 14 for you? Yeah.
Yeah, so what's that mean, Billy? We're past day 8.
It's just getting good. You're ripe. Good ripe story now. We're ripe for some real emotion.
I do kind of like that you found some tundra here to walk on.
You feeling it in your feet at all? What's the sorest thing on you, or what's like the weak spot for you?
My hips, right here.
Well, that's pretty good. That's just pain.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like anything's gonna break, so that's okay. But it's not any fun. How about you, Dougie?
It's just pain.
Yeah. None?
Nothing.
Just
Nothing.
tougher and twisted cougar. You are. Yeah. Of course, nothing hurting on me. I'm built for this. Actually, for me, it's just arch of the foot, and I think that's pretty well gone away. I go through cycles of pain where you just walk enough and they just kind of go away, it seems like. I think if you just drink enough water, that's what I noticed for me, is like something hurts, you just drink water, and you just keep moving, and everything seems to kind of iron itself out.
Billy tried to lead us in a little fitness exercise this morning, and it didn't work. No. It's all by himself.
What was that? Oh, my calisthenics? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's my old man exercises. Yeah, I'd be a little nervous if you guys started joining me in the down dog. All right, enough chit chat. Let's go find a ram. Well, we were down right over there. The guide wasn't quite on top of his game. Peeked around the corner, probably about 10 steps too far, and then there was a sheep right here on this grassy saddle. And then when we got down, it was like the moment we started moving, it pegged us and just boom, took off lickety-split. I didn't see any horn when it ran away. Did you see it?
Bunch of lambs and ewes.
Okay, very good.
It just kept boiling out a little. Kind of tucked away in the corner back there. Just kept coming out. There's 6, 7 of them.
Yeah, because when I looked at it, it seemed like it was really stocky, like a lot of body mass compared to its legs. So I was thinking ram, and then when it ran away, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, there are a bunch of little ones up there playing around.
So I bet that was a lamb that we saw.
You got another one over here?
No, we were just, in case he boiled out, we were kind of ready. In case it was old heavy.
Kind of crossing over. I think we're going to jump back over the front side.
Here I thought we might be on a marathon mission to find old heavy as he's fleeing the country. At least I didn't tell you to wear hip boots up here, Kevin. Can you imagine hiking up here with hip boots? Wouldn't that be
72 and that grizzly got me. Boots.
You'd have nothing left but shriveled up stubs for feet. That's when men were tough there.
Probably didn't have to go as far then.
Probably not. Well, that's just it. You know, you think of all those old timers and you think, oh man, look at the equipment they had, you know, which is true, but then you read stories like Russell Annabelle, they climb up on the mountain, there's 400 sheep, you know. It's time to give the feet some attention. Just telling Dougie that's going to make the phone ring. Everybody's going to want to book a sheep hunt looking at that. Oh yeah. Primo Deluxe. We are having fun now.
Save for Sally's.
Oh boy, that sucker is raw.
Bleeding.
Yummy.
One of these for your puppy pants.
Make it feel good. Might.
Well, typically toilet paper is the hot barter item, but not these days.
Warm. I don't need your puppy pants.
Saw that grizzly bear from last night. We saw it again this morning. We just rounded the bend. We're trying to catch the planes at 6:30 to move us. Camp comes into view and I see a dark blob beyond the tents. I'm like, oh no, there's that bear. Or a bear, but it's a caribou. So we got about a 35-minute jaunt to the tents. Pack it up. Ready to head for some fresh country, Kev?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't know if maybe there's weather moving in here. We're an hour early, so we got a mad scramble to get packed up. get loaded up, on the move. Dougie's a little late. Comes cruising in all Hollywood. We got camp all set up. Supper's ready for him. We were nervous you were going to be late for dinner, Dougie, but you're right on time.
Chicken fried rice.
Sleep good last night?
Like a baby.
I pretty much laid down and then I just kind of like dreamed a little bit, woke up, 4:15. Was that quick? I think we're screwed. When I got up, the wind was a little bit both ways, but mostly coming down. And now I see it filling up down there. The wind is switching, blowing up. So that fog's heading our way. Got a light drizzle. Patchy fog. I'm guessing in about 30 minutes that's going to swallow us up. Probably 15. But we're going to drink some coffee, watch, see what the weather's doing, make a decision from there. But this country is all high and steep like you can see here. This is always, we call this spot Swiss. It's always a tough spot because there's no way to hunt it except from the bottom. So wind can be a little bit tricky, and you definitely better be able to spot the animals and work in on them from below is really the only way to approach them in about 80% of this country, just because it's so sheer and rugged. Well, it took more like an hour. Kind of hemming and hawing here whether we should take off or not, but this definitely answers the question. Wind's kind of switched out of the north, blowing upstream now. So I think we're going to catch up on some sleep. After 25 years, when I look back at all the hunts that I've guided, I don't remember a single score. I don't remember how many times we shot. I remember how heavy some of the packs were, but what I remember most of each individual hunt is something that at the time, a specific thing or things that at the time seemed insignificant. Those memories might just be a conversation or just some animal doing something, or a sunrise or an airplane ride, or whatever it was. And I just want to encourage anybody out there that's interested in experiencing Alaska. It is a place to go with no agenda. It's a place to just go because you
you can no longer stand the thought of having not at least tried. When you get to that point where the fear of failure or not getting something is dwarfed by the fear of never realizing your dream, you're ready. You're ready to experience the wilderness, to be immersed in it and receive whatever it is. That's when the life-changing aspect of being in the wilderness is going to take place. When you want to go there, experience it, win, lose, or draw, I guarantee you will not regret that you went and experienced Alaska for yourself. So right now we've got good visibility, but now the wind is wrong. So now the wind is shooting up that canyon. This is kind of a tricky spot. It's always been a challenge for everybody who hunts it. You usually see sheep in here, but you pretty well got to get going. You got to have good weather and you got to go at it right away in the morning, and you got to have downhill thermals. Or otherwise you just run the risk of bumping the sheep out, any sheep in there, and never see them. So the plan is to rest up and hopefully we get good weather, get some down drafts tomorrow morning, hit her hard tomorrow. Dougie should be rested up. Gosh, he slept. We got up and had coffee at 5 o'clock this morning, kind of watched the weather, see what it was going to do, and we went back to bed about 6:30. Lazy packer of mine just got up at 11:30. Stir that bacon there, Buana, or are you just going to let it burn? He's commenting how in your 10 hours of sleep, I'm busting your chops. Oh yeah. How good does that look? Any words of wisdom for us this morning, Doug? Afternoon.
Afternoon.
Morning for you.
15 hours of sleep. I'm feeling refreshed. Ready for some bacon.
Fifth hunting day. As you can see, we're getting lots of rain. Or have got lots of rain. This puppy here is pretty significant. This is where we want to go. Up into here, runs 6-7 miles deep. Low saddle, goes in another drainage that's 6 or 7 miles deep. So we could kind of run them both, go around this mountain, come back to camp. So the rain's finally let up now after a day and a half, I guess. So what we're gonna do, got good visibility now, we're gonna hopefully get across this river and shoot up that draw right there. Wind won't be right, but we don't very often see sheep there. It's more up back in here. So we really need the wind to be right, have good weather to where we can blast up there real early in the morning, like leave at like first light, 4 a.m. Thermals generally switch between 9 and 10. And so our best hunting is there's those first 5-6 hours of daylight. So we need to capitalize on that. Hopefully tomorrow this river, as long as we don't get any more rain, this river will definitely be down by then. Brooks Range Venti. Got a strip show. Been hiking in here for 2 hours. Kind of thought about turning around a while back, but I stuck with it. We're getting bluffed out on this raging river. Wind is at our back, which sucks. But we're definitely cutting sheep sign. Nothing smoking hot, but we've been having rain the last 2 days. So hopefully we at least see some sheep back in here. It's good looking country. Right there is why you need good boots. Stiff soles. That's a pretty wild view right there. How much you gonna pay me to not show this to Wendy, Kevin?
Hey, me.
So I was just telling Doug, there's a reason why we didn't film any of that back there. It looks pretty gnarly right here. It looks pretty gnarly because it is pretty gnarly, I guess. He's got legs like a giraffe. He's a ballerina in the off season. Morning, day 7, yes. 6th day of hunting. We'll call it day 7. Basically started hunting the day before season, or packing in, getting into sheep country. It's our 3rd morning here. Wind has been blowing up into that canyon. Wind was screaming last night. Yeah, patience is wearing a little thin to not go up there, but no way to hunt anything with a 10-mile-an-hour wind at your back. There's just no way to get up on top of this country, way too steep and rugged. Good news is the water appears to have crested. It rained really hard last night, but I think it's tapered off early morning hours. So we're just gonna wait, see what the weather does. Hopefully we get a break. Still got 7 days left to go. But yeah. Sitting there doing nothing gets pretty tough after a while. Well, Dougie, you've been waiting your whole life for me to say this. Let's stuff it and go, Doug.
Yes, I told you.
I've been watching that wind about an hour and a half straight. It hasn't swirled once, so.
I knew it.
I think we're gonna move. We'll go slow, we'll go cautious, but we'll just have 2 days of crap, and if it turns on us, we'll just sit tight and
I think this is the break we've been waiting 2.5 days. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The wind was shooting up hardcore all morning, but the sun came out. We're still going up. Now we're getting clouds. It's coming down. So could definitely change once we get up in there, but I think we're gonna go for it.
No matter where the hell I go.
Well, I figured I was gonna go over here and set up. Figured you guys were gonna be dilly-dallying, or I'd have stayed there. And I did. I have my wiggies, but I figured I could make it. I don't know. It's almost just as soon just get them wet right away, and then you're done with it. Then you don't have to think about it anymore. Right. My Kiwi guide told me that. He was right. He's like, man, mate, don't even worry about it. Your feet are gonna be wet the whole time, anyways. And he was right.
I don't believe it. Still, it felt good to have dry boots.
Nah. Yeah. This is sheep hunting. Have you been very comfortable thus far, Kevin?
Not the slightest, Billy.
Well, we're doing something right, Dougie.
Marginal is how we operate.
Yep. You're not comfortable with marginal, stay home. Ah, yeah. First rate adventure here. See, now just think how good those dry boots are going to feel when you get back to camp with the sheep in a couple of days. Even better. See, it's always two sides to every coin. Well, these sheep were right up there. 2 rams are chasing these ewes. They disappeared in that canyon. So we're gonna go into the one on the left. Come up on the left side of that grassy chute. Grassy ridge. Dumping our camp here in this flat spot. About 800 yards away from where we saw the sheep. Grab some water. Start our trek. Probably start out at about 5 power. And just remember to turn it up, once you know where they're at. The big thing is you just don't want to be too magnified so you can't see other sheep coming and going. Because if he's a long ways away and you need to reach out, then you'll have time to amp it up. This will cover our sound. Last saw the rams right across that face into that drainage. We're hoping to scoot up, cross over. Easy as that. Wind's a little screwy in here, but maybe to be expected. We're 7 days in. Sore muscles, wet feet, bad weather, a few questionable decisions, and a ram that's gotten away. We've got a sheep hunt on our hands. A little rain coming down. So we were down around the corner, saw these sheep chasing, they wrapped around this face, so we were expecting to find them in here. Checked that drainage over here, checked up there, all this down here. So what we're thinking is this ewe went back into this drainage, because yesterday we saw 5 ewes and lambs in that drainage up high on the other side of this hill. So we got uphill thermals in this canyon. We're gonna work our way up, poke over, see what we got. I love it. Thought it was a done deal though. Kind of figured they'd chase in here, fart around, but a little rocky in here. So we're thinking that ewe either button hooked right around, went back to the other lambs and ewes presumably, or maybe she went straight back the way she came when we were out of sight and working up on them. So, who knows, but I think we were okay on the wind. I don't think we blew them out. Our main camp is around the corner. We spotted the rams from here. Dropped our spike camp over there. Worked up along here. Peeked down in there, didn't find them. Worked back, make sure he wasn't down in the bottom. So now we're coming along here. Wind is coming up. So we're gonna work this canyon. And then this face around this side. It's not just a big cut canyon. It looks like it's a big rounded mountain. It's gonna take some time. Got a hell of a sheep hunt on our hands here. I love it, I love it. Looking for them in here. That's very fresh from today. Well, we're just on our way back to camp. This is where we saw them. We were thinking that's our only chance that they didn't wind us. Looks like maybe one's a ewe, one's a young ram. So maybe they just boogered right back across while we were out of sight of them. We might still be in the game here. We're almost back to camp. We had all but given up on them. Or they just wandered out of sight. So we might still have a chance. I'd say our optimism level is about 5 times what it was 2 minutes ago.
Those were the first two that chased around.
Exactly. There was 2 dinks.
Yeah.
Well, we were thinking there was a ewe in the mix. That might have just been a yearling ram. That one was a ram.
It's kind of funny how we're heading back to camp with our tails between our legs. We want glance back. It's like, hang on, buddies.
We might, well, that's what we figured, that they could still be in there.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you think about it.
They would have got out of country, we would have seen them.
By the time we got in to look in that canyon was, what, 2 hours after we'd seen them? I mean, they had plenty of time to fart around in there. And
Oh, the second canyon. Yeah.
right, because by the looks of what sign we had seen, that's kind of the direction they were headed. You know, looked like they were up there, then looked like they were in there yesterday, up there this morning, and then when we saw them up there, yeah, I think we go back to camp, get some rest, eat. Hopefully we got downhill thermals tomorrow and get the supper ready. Spike camp, evening number 7. Hope the big boy's in there. Gotta think he is. Morning of day 8. Right where this side of where that sun's shining, that's the drainage we're hoping to find a ram. Quarter 5:30. Thermals are pretty subtle, but they're coming down. So conditions are right. Hope we can find them in there. It's a beautiful morning, isn't it? Compared to what we've been having. The mood in camp this morning is pretty somber. We saw that looked like a yearling ram and a 2-year-old ram together. We saw them. We were hoping that they were part of hoping it was a ewe and a young ram. We just caught a glimpse of them last night as we were hiking down. We were hoping that they were with those 2 bigger rams. There was like a 7/8, and then that one was about a curl and an 1/8. Really nice sheep, 10 years old. But we're kind of back to the thought that they must have winded us. So we hiked up here. I don't think this is where they would have gone if they did wind us, but it was kind of first on the list of areas to check. So what we're gonna have to do is go back down the way we came, grab our camp, slip up over a saddle into the next drainage, and then work our way up. The thermals have been working against us pretty much most of the time. We had a good wind in the main canyon yesterday, but then once we started climbing up after those sheep, and the wind was swirling quite a bit, marginal at best, and I don't know, they were running around chasing each other like they were rutting, so who knows what happened there. So, looks like we're just gonna have to dig deep, keep on trucking. Sun's coming up, canyon's filling up with fog. We figure these must be the 2 young rams we spotted last night. Less than a mile away from where we saw them on the other side of the river. So I'm very confident that they weren't with the big rams that were chasing the ewe. So it looks like they must have winded us. Boogered out of the country. And we have a beautiful day today, finally. Some nice weather. Wind isn't ideal, wind direction. Finally not crazy. I've never seen it so windy in 20 years in the Brooks Range. Never seen it anywhere near as windy as it was there those first 4 or 5 days. And we had that run of bad weather there for 3 days. That's hunting. Well, for better or worse, the game's back on. Just poked up over here. Find these rams. ...912 yards right now. So we walked up a ways. The rams, they were just down that ridge a little bit. So we're gonna work up here. We may cut through that notch, or we may side hill to their tracks. That notch looks doable, we may try it. Heck of a long ways up there. Well, our original camp is down around at the bottom. We spotted the rams again from here. Working our way up. About 525 yards to that notch. The rams went across right by that little nipple. Hopefully the weather holds. It looks like it's pretty good. But I see fresh tracks right there. So it looks like they went up and over. Out of our lives forever. So it's really steep over the backside. So we're not going to push after them anymore. It's 3 o'clock. We've been going hard. We put Dougie on the trail, so he's following their trail in case they were hung up here in one of these knobs. So it looks like it's a bust. Those suckers evaded us twice. But in good country, lots of places to escape here, that's for sure. Well, here's the mountain we climbed today. We were pretty near to the tip of it. So we hiked up this drainage, got up in there, and then those rams were right about in there. And we peeked around the corner. I don't know, we were only around the corner 5 feet, 10 feet tops, and stopped and glassed. And I don't know, they maybe had our wind before that, I'm guessing. And then they wrapped around, then went up and over before we could catch up to them. This is what a week of sheep hunting will get you. Beauty.
Take care of your feet, kids. Don't be like Doug.
I just had a little excitement. Popped over the saddle, saw 2 sheep, and dropped down. Weren't sure what they were. Kevin got loaded up. We were all ready to roll, but mamas and babies. Getting some real Alaska weather now. Blowing about 15, snowing, probably about 25 degrees, all kinds of fun. A lot can change in 4 or 5 days. This waterfall was ripping just a couple days ago. She's frozen tight as of ice now.
Got a dusting of fresh snow right in camp. We're gonna go find some fresh country today. I think he's a little shorter on that side, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's still full curl. We're on our way, saw 2 rams. Doug spotted 2 rams yesterday evening. We're on our way to check them out. This was the country we were going to head into. We stopped, shed some layers, got a drink of water, just about ready to take off. And during that time, these 5 rams must have boiled over. There's one definitely legal. They're about a mile away right now. Our wind's blowing to them right now. So we're gonna make a little maneuver and try to close the gap and get her done. Biggest thing we need right now is for a steady wind. Yesterday the wind was switching directions 180 degrees about every 30 minutes. Spotted the rams from around there. We walked around. There they are right there. We're a mile and a half away. So our plan is to hike around here, get up and around over top. Probably almost assuredly be in sight of them once we cross over, but pretty confident we'll be far enough away from them that there won't be a bother. We'll get down on the bottom, hopefully get out of sight, and then maneuver from there. Got a bull moose browsing on the willers. Whoa. Day 10. Day 11, I guess. We're on a full curl ram, but this stock is going like the whole last 11 days is gone. Pretty much. We were camped down there, headed up this drainage. About right in here, this band of 5 rams popped over the top. We were actually going to look at these 2 rams, which were over there. The wind was at our backs as we were heading up, so we backed down around this subtle ridge, worked our way up, and just when we climbed up from this river bar, we got blasted with a cold west wind, which has been bringing moisture, and it is right now bringing some snow. So it's about 10 in the morning, 10:05. So we're probably going to have some updraft thermals eventually, and then the wind coming down, shooting down the canyon, which is a real low canyon. These rams are super low right now. I'm sure they'll get up and bed somewhere else higher for the afternoon or somewhere different. But ideally you want the wind either coming, ideally you want it going down both ways or up both ways. So right now we got wind blowing down the main valley, probably up into the canyons. probably, we were hoping to sneak around, get in the head of this canyon, then we'd have the wind in our favor and the thermals, but that's definitely not going to be the case here in the short term. So we're just sitting tight, watch and see what happens. Might be sitting here a while, but it seems like we're right on the edge of two fronts. We got dry, warm air from the east from time to time, and then we get west moist air when the wind comes out of the west. So it's just a constant seesaw. Yesterday it was just back and forth, round and round all day too. So we got to time it out right when we get thermals one way and a good wind direction to coincide. At least that's ideal. Dougie likes.
Dougie likes. Get this wind right and then we're from these rams.
What?
Keep blowing them out of the country with a bad wind.
About 11 o'clock, we left Doug back up on the hill where we could see the sheep. We came back down. So Doug's on that knob, just out of sight. Sheep are at the base of, let's see here, that mountain right there. They were headed this way. Now that we're back in the bottom, the wind is blowing up again. So we got a signaling system in place. We're hopefully going to try to approach them from above. It's going to be tricky all the way around, but I figure this is our best chance. So we're going to give it a shot. Basically right where we started this morning. We're dumping our camp. Got Dougie over there. Sheep were through this willow bush 2 miles away on that low brown ridge right there. Wind is more or less blowing from us to them, but we're hoping there's some uphill thermals. So we're gonna duck back around, probably get up on this face, assuming we'll be out of sight. Grade up there, then grade down into that drainage. Go up in there, peek over, grade around, and then we should be on the ridge. Hopefully they'll continue to feed over this way, and then they'll be at the bottom of this ridge right here. There's a lot of hopefullys in there. Hopefully the wind is right too. If the wind isn't blowing up those canyons hard, we'll pull out of there. But we're 2 miles away now, we should be good. No matter what's going from, what the wind's doing from us to them at this point. Wind is perfect. Sheep are around the corner, 2 ridges. We need to get up onto that ridge and over there. Picking our way along. Hike up this bottom. This puppy's pretty steep here. Get around this backside. Go up over one ridge, then over the other, then we'll grade down. We're gonna go over 2 ridges. The rams are actually on the spine of the 3rd ridge, but they've been grading our way, or heading our way, feeding our way. So typically, they'll kind of continue in that, whatever direction they're working, and if they do that, we're hoping to be in position once they get up. So we got a system for Doug to tell us if he's got his yellow sleeping pad on the green tarp. The green tarp represents where the sheep are in relation to these 3 ridges. And if he's got the sleeping pad on the green tarp, means they're bedded. And when we last saw Doug, which was 20 minutes ago, they were bedded. It's 1 o'clock now. Should stay bedded till at least 3 p.m., maybe as late as 5. But with it being this cold, I would anticipate they'll get up between 3 and 4. But the wind is good. We just got lots of hiking ahead of us. I'm hoping we left at But we left Doug at about 11. I'm hoping we can be up on top of the rams by 3.
This is the ridge. That's the rocky point we wanted to get to. Guess we went a little higher than we needed to, but we're going to put another layer on. We're going to grade down now. According to Dougie's tarp, some of them are bedded, but they're moving a little bit. About 7 to start. Scope's clear. Scope's clear. According to Dougie, most of the rams are bedded on the backside here. That one we were watching just fed out of sight. We're gonna get up to that lip. Should be within 500 yards.
The ram. He's the one that singled himself out early on. I don't have my spot and scope up here with me. I'm not sure if it's the big one or not. I hope it is. Billy should be right around in here somewhere. Up in here. They were, last time I saw them, were up on that ridge they dumped off. They should be right down in there. I'm hoping that's the big one.
Alright, we're in position. We got the one ram. You can just see him right there. He's got his cheat sheet out. Where do you hold for 1,000 yards? Dougie's got us dialed in. 5 minutes to 4. Got another one up. First one in the group. 620 yards. Hope they follow the other one. Work right through here. Looks like they've all got their heads together. Yeah. Is that common? I don't know that I've ever seen it before. Obviously some sort of social interaction. What it means, I don't know.
Doesn't look like they're trying to create dominance.
No, they're just kind of
Playing kissy face.
hanging out. Looks like they're having like a family prayer meeting or something. 620 yards away. That crack right there is 450. That ridge right there is about 360. That's the trail that other ram took. The other ram is bedded just out of sight. There's that grass. So we're hoping that they follow his course. Well, we've seen all but the big boy. There's one in there that's real close to full curl, but not quite. They're all out now. The big boy was the last one. Yeah, wait till they're all going downhill, and then I'll watch them all with binoculars. And then you kind of get set up. Get on which one you think it is. And then we'll just go from, and then I'll get in on them on the scope, confirm it. And then, yep, exactly. sunny right now. Yep, all the way to the left, yep. We're waiting on him. There he comes. We'll just let him come. Everything's in our favor. Forward down. Can you move to the right pretty good, Kev? Yeah, I would say just keep him in the left side of your skull. You'll have time. Gonna kill him with one shot. Yep, you're doing good. Let him come. Keep moving right. 370. 370, Kevin. Do you want to dial it down or aim low? Okay, wait. Wait, I want to watch him. I figure 360. Yep. What's that? Yep. So wait for him to be broadside. Wait for him to stop. He'll stop. Okay, let me give you a range.
Yeah.
Yep, about 340. I'm gonna have to dial it down a little bit. 350 is 3.75. Okay, 340. Aim low.
Rocks in the way now.
Okay. All right, we'll slink over this edge. On safety. You got him? You got rocks in your way. You're all right. You're all right. We just got to regroup. That's all. I'm gonna watch him. All right, let's move over here. On safety. Watch that muzzle. Give me your back. You're good. He's all the way to the left, about to enter the shale. He's facing to the left. He's about to enter the shale rock, right?
Got it.
Facing to the left. Can you see the curl in his horns? Do you see the big curl? What's that? Okay. You see the big curl?
Dude.
Okay, he's facing the left, head down.
Yep.
Wait for him to stop whenever you like it. Wait. Right there if you like it. Reload. You missed. Well, you might have hit him. He's just standing there hunched up. Make sure you're on the right one. He's kind of facing straight up the hill. He's all the way to the left.
The last one, right?
Yep, make sure he's the curly horned one. He's kind of facing to the right. I think you got him. I think he's sick, Kev.
Give me another one.
Just wait. Just wait. Yep, you got him. He's tipping over. I think you hit him on the first shot, but boy, he sure didn't act like it. All right, let's see what's going on there. There we go. He's tipped over. Look at those other ones, man. They're not even like lifting their head up. "20 days of Dall sheep hunting to do that." Sheep hunting's an emotional roller coaster, isn't it? I guarantee you're not the only guy to shed a tear when they shoot a sheep. Yeah, and you just look at it now, you know, all those bad breaks that we had, now just look at us. It's like, boom, got them. You know, they're right there. Everything's perfect. Our main man, Dougie, would have been really tough to do it without him.
Down. Of course, right when I shut the camera off, he shot. Smoked him, rammed down. Heck yeah. Congrats, Kevin. You deserve it, man. That's some hard work we put in. I'll sing a little bit.
Nice job. Stuck with her, man. That's what it takes. It is a grind. It is an emotional roller coaster. You put on a lot of miles for that puppy.
Oh, it doesn't compete with marrying my wife and the birth of our kids, but it's right after that.
Really? And why do you think?
Oh, it's just such a journey. Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. know, anybody who doesn't do this, I mean, you really couldn't explain it to them.
Yeah, it's even hard to, everybody's, I'm sure, is just slightly different, but it's just tough to put into words.
Yeah, I mean, up until the last moment where you think, okay, are you going to be able to get a shot?
Yeah. Yeah, you fly over these mountains and then you start hiking around and you're like, holy smokes, there's not sheep on every mountain. There's not sheep in every drainage.
Yeah, well, good Lord told me to be nervous this morning for some reason.
And that one's got us pegged. 5, 4 don't care.
Said a lot of prayers the last several days, and once in a while they get answered.
Yep. I rolled a little bit more.
Boy, what an incredible animal.
I live in some amazing country.
Yeah.
There's old Dougie Doo.
Surprised Matt didn't land over there by him, thinking it was some kind of SOS.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that. I'll give. Why don't you give old Dougie the signal that you got him? Probably have to stand up just to make sure he can see you.
Boy, impossible to do this without somebody like you, Billy, and Doug, man.
Oh, that was critical on this stock.
I don't know. How positive you guys are throughout this whole journey.
Yeah, throw your
mountain if I.
yeah. Now's not the time to fall. Throw your hands and just hold them straight in the air, because it. There you go. Here, let me stay like that. Let me see if he's looking at you, so he knows for sure he can come. Yeah, he's packing up.
Oh. Not sure if the toughest part was hiking up this mountain, or actually having to wait, shaking, cold, and just nerves. But then knowing you put on all these miles to be able to make the shot.
Yeah, that was tense having to move from our setup, but it was nice because then it was so much closer, Got the shakes now? I can see. I'd say you got the quivers. Shoot. Yeah, it's a pretty raw experience. The highs and lows, it's like a roller coaster, the highs and the lows. It's just.
It's going to take a long time to sink in. As long as it takes to happen, 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's just an animal, but it's the country, the ruggedness of the country, the weather, being prepared mentally.
Which is tougher, physically or mentally?
Oh, mentally. Yeah, for sure.
What was the toughest thing for you?
Oh gosh. Probably the first step was just being able to come out here and do it again.
Why is that?
After failing the first time.
Because you failed?
Yeah.
Was that hard for you to swallow?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if it's necessarily failure as in the fact that you didn't accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, the ultimate, what you think is the ultimate goal.
Yep.
But yeah.
And so it took you, I would say you were more despondent. It seemed like you hit a harder, taller wall on this hunt than you did the last hunt.
Do you think it was because of that? Like because you failed once, like more doubt was creeping in? It was like a second failure would be worse, or?
I mean, I had a lot of doubt just throughout, because you know that you can put in a lot of days without it happening, and then you know that it can happen really quick. You know, just like you said last night, you know, you just got to keep reminding yourself that it could just be right around that next corner. You don't know. Yeah. How hard we try to not move, and they're just standing there now.
Yep.
Boy. You know, I'm sure some guys come out here and you get kind of, you're fortunate you happen to be in the right spot. First stalk, you kill one, and sheep hunting's easy, but certainly not the case for everybody. And I think you learn a whole lot more from it then too. And I don't think I've learned everything I'm going to learn, if that makes sense, because it takes time to digest. Yeah.
If you had to do it all over again, would you have it any other way than what you just had?
Oh, hell no.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Boy.
Like I told you when we were chasing after those rams, and that four when they were chasing, and we got into that canyon and they weren't there, and I'm like, now we got a sheep hunt. Now we got a real sheep hunt. We're gonna experience, because now it's just not one of those where everything just goes right. You walk up, oh, there's a ram, the wind is right, you sneak over top of the mountain, boom. Oh, nice, let's go hunt caribou.
Right.
We killed a sheep.
Yeah. Yeah, you hear people talk about rolling, the nice rolling hills in sheep country. Yeah, there might be some of them, but I don't know, that's not where Billy Molls on. Wow. What a stock.
Yeah, that was a long sucker, wasn't it?
I don't know. Dougie's probably more happy to have this done than we are. He's probably frozen solid.
Yeah, he's probably gonna. Oh, I can see him traipsing across the tundra right now. He's gonna make it here in no time. He'll probably beat us down to the ram, which would be good. Now we can get pictures with him. 20 days of sheep hunting. Got her done, man. Put her there. Awesome job, man. Holy smokes, that was a good hunt.
To you.
I've been on pushing 50 of these suckers, and this is right up there, top 3, no doubt. As far as, adversity, adventure, and stories, and trust me, 10 years from now, we're going to be talking about your wet feet. Stuff is really nice as long as you don't catch something solid under the surface.
As long as you don't have to go up it.
Then you don't want to go under that. Go up the big rocks, down the little ones. Pretty much works out. Yeah, this scree, it's like stepping onto a pillow. Just kind of dig your heels in. It's like a cushion. Pretty sweet compared to all that big, hard, jagged rock you're normally going up. Yeah, one of the toughest hunts, but one of the easiest recoveries. And I'm trying to think if I've ever had a shorter pack out. Definitely, this will be the easiest pack out because I got a packer. But it's pretty short. It'll be 3 miles tops. Probably 2.5, probably, less than 3 miles. So, anyways, get her done.
Ram down.
Good work, Doug.
Congrats, man. What a beautiful ram. Awesome.
You finally get thawed out?
What's that?
You finally get thawed out?
Yep, I sure did.
She was a cold one on that hill, or did that air kind of dried out a little bit?
It dried out a little bit. Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
When we peeked over and I saw you had a tarp and the thing, we knew right away, you know, what you were getting at. It was perfect.
Yeah, one of them split off by himself, went clear up there and bedded down.
Yep.
Was that him, the first one?
Nope.
He was the very last one that came out there?
Yep, very last one.
Well, if you were dying to have your spotting scope, then you could really actually
Exactly.
go.
Yeah.
Billy, yeah. If you get the footage I'd have over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hear the shots?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't see him go down, though, I assume.
Yeah.
You did? You could see him?
I watched the whole thing. I had my camera battery kept dying, so I kept shutting it off. And then I shut it off, picked up my binoculars, and you smoked him.
Could you see us and the sheep then, or you were just watching the sheep?
I couldn't see you. I was just watching the sheep.
Yep.
I just figured you guys were tucked in here somewhere.
Well, he's got some crazy curl.
Yeah.
He's not a super old ram. You know, I don't think he's 10. I just figured the way he seemed to carry his mass up that he would be, but they were all 3/4 or over. It was a lot harder to make sure we had the right one. Oh boy, that's beautiful though. Boy, he's a big-bodied ram.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
Nice work, Dougie. That was huge having you there. I mean, it just gave us the confidence to sit there and wait it out, you know. I mean, it was everything. The wind was pretty much just like we figured. You know, once we got up in there, we went an extra drainage down, as you could see. We didn't want him, they could see us, and we just didn't want to chance that wind, but it worked out pretty dang good.
Did you guys watch that first one walk right by and go up in there and bed?
Yeah.
Figured the rest of them come in.
Yep. Yeah, it worked out.
Basically right where Billy said they were going to come, they pretty much came down the path. But when there wasn't a whole lot of feed here, so you can kind of see this one was the last one, you know, feeding a little bit of grass that was over there. And then it was mainly rock, so you kind of thought, okay, if I'm not going to shoot him there, he may just continue on because he's not going to stop.
Yeah.
Well, and sure enough, that's pretty much what he did. And then he got out of he was way below us, so we had to relocate.
Is there a water hole up here they're all hitting? It
Nope.
looks like they all kind of converge right up.
Yeah, well, just that their nice grass there has a little southern exposure. All right, there you can kind of see where it's nice and green. That was it. Then thankfully he split off by himself so that we could pick him out fairly easy. But that's a beautiful sheep, man. That was a pretty nice twist. Nice work, brother. Man, it was friggin' huge having you there, just giving us the confidence to keep on going and to just be patient and sit there and wait.
It was a fun show to watch all day.
It wasn't all day a deal. What time did we leave you? 11? 6:30 now? 10 o'clock? Maybe it was like 10-ish.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good work over there.
Yeah.
We were talking about it. It's like, man, sit over there, freeze your butt off, but you got to be on the ball because if something happens, it's like you can't be like, okay, where'd the sheep go? I didn't see.
I made 2 cups of coffee, had a few Jolly Ranchers, but other than that, my glass was glued to my face the whole time.
Well, then I'm sure you were looking for us.
Yeah, and I only saw you guys like once or twice, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured it'd be kind of tough to spot us, and once we popped out,
He's a beauty. I hear a trickle, but I'm not seeing any.
There's a little bit downstream here for sure.
the angle that we were at, ensuring that, you know, this was indeed the ram that I was going to pull the trigger on, because at that extreme angle, it was really difficult to tell, you know, which one was the legal ram. So it took a little extra studying, just a lot of communication back and forth to ensure that, you know, which one I had the crosshairs on was the right ram. So I don't know what else you want to add.
20 days. 20 days.
Yeah.
You're gonna remember those 20 days. You're gonna remember the wet feet.
The cold wind.
Yeah, cold winds and those first 10 days, your last 10 days, and that's what sheep hunting's all about, is breaking down barriers and
you know, the highs and the lows and keep climbing like we said up there. Just put the boots on every morning and climb over the next mountain. That's hunting, that's life, and that's sheep hunting. That's what it's all about.
I think Billy and I stayed up basically where I'd shot for probably a good hour or more by the time Doug got across to.
We don't want to do all the work without him. That's what we brought him here for. Spotting sheep.
Yep.
I was hustling for that mile and a half of wet tundra. Out of me.
We figured.
Warm up.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was a team effort.
For sure.
I mean, from the word go. I mean, since we started, it's like we've been at this 11 days. I mean, 11. We started the day before season, so it's like we experienced a lot of stuff together. Good times, bad times. Yeah, probably called. Well, I know Kevin called me some names under his breath. Well, he said it afterwards, but you know, you just get into some situations. It's like, oh crap, you know, how are we gonna get out of this one? And that's what hunting in Alaska is about. Like I said, you're always fighting Mother Nature in Alaska. It's so rare that everything's going right, and when it does all come together, this is it.
I don't recall if I called you that before or after I said a prayer, but maybe it was me. I said a prayer before and after, but I called you a couple things like, we're in some pretty rugged country that, I don't think Wendy would approve.
Hold that thought right there. I want to make sure that it's still rolling. Not that we can necessarily recreate all of it. Oh yeah, it's still going. My battery was almost dead, but I think we're good. Anything else to add, Dougie? Come on, you're usually a good color man.
Oh yeah,
come
you
on,
always put me on
come
the
on.
spot. I'm always like, I ain't got nothing to say.
Needs a little whiskey.
Yeah. Where's the whiskey? Let's go.
Aaron. Got your loving wife. So what's your story, Doug? Where are you at in all this? How old are you, and what are you doing? You're gonna be you're father of 4. 5 is on the way.
Five little girls. Yeah, number 5's on the way. 38 years old. This is my second season up here in Alaska. Just kind of going to Billy's guide apprentice school. Just loving it, you know. Just it's hard getting away from the family, but going through stuff like we've gone through, you know, this hard work to find a big ram like this and be successful, and just running off grizzly bears, seeing caribou everywhere, you know, just the Alaska experience, can't beat it. Love it. That's why I'm here.
Perfect.
Farm boy from Illinois.
Farm boy from Illinois.
Illinois or Illinois?
Illinois, yeah.
So 3 farm boys coming together, getting her done. Well, Dougie, I think I'm gonna have to promote you back up to camp manager again.
All right.
This very well might be our last sheep hunt together.
Better not be. We'll see.
I think we're gonna let you skin this one out.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna go back to camp and
drink whiskey.
See you in a while.
Yeah. Kevin said he's got a bottle of whiskey back there. I'll greet you guys, and
I'm sure you will. Yeah.
I'll have a rice and chicken freeze dried waiting for you. I think that's all that's left.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, it was a pleasure. Again, great team effort, Doug. Seriously, great job. We would have loved to had you right behind us, but I'm not so sure that it would have happened without you where you were. So, man, it was huge help. So thank you.
Glad to be of help. That's why I'm here.
Why you're here is to pack this sucker back to camp. All right, good stuff, guys. Anything else?
Well, thanks to both you guys. Yeah,
congratulations.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, thank you.
Hey, Dougie. How good are those sheep ribs gonna taste?
Oh, really good.
Yeah. Not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight. Yeah.
We'll let them cool off.
More rumble gut.
Nah.
Enough of that.
We're gonna get us a fire built. Have some sheep ribs. Do it old school. Get the knives out. Get to slicing and dicing. Good deal. Got her done. 10 days. Long hunt. But all's well that ends well. Maybe try for a caribou here for a couple of days. Kevin's got a couple of days. I got a couple of days till my next grizzly bear hunter comes in. So see what happens. Hey, Chichaco. Keep hauling loads like that, you might get to sourdough status someday. I see it. I think I'm gonna have to put my rain pants on. Kind of miss the snow.
Yeah, so
kind of sucks.
Where are you planning on stashing this?
We'll just put it in a willow near camp. I'll bring that up, and then when I get back, I'll go get her
me and Kevin's crap, and we'll dine and maybe get silly tonight. Hold on.
Good.
Want me to help you up?
Sure.
Alright. How are we gonna video this? Here. Alright. There you go. Pretty much a full sheep. Love it.
We found old heavy.
So heavy. Feels pretty heavy right now, I'll bet. Alright, I'll have Kevin just follow you if he makes it out of the creek bottom. Here goes Dougie and Kevin. They get most of the sheep. Doug's got almost all the meat. Kevin's got the hide and horns and his stuff. Camp is down that way. I don't know, it's farther than I thought, probably 2.5 miles or so. This was our spike camp here, so we're going to I'm gonna try to fit that all in there. Might be kind of a gypsy load, but load that up, head on down, back to camp, and have some supper. It's good deal. Yeah, there you can see that fog rolled right in. Got her done pretty well in the nick of time. Warm front moved in, turned to rain. Pack her up, head for the barn. Learn anything on that hunt?
Yeah. Wind's gotta be right. No shortcuts. Helps to have a buddy.
Yeah. Any color commentary for us, Dougie? Pretty much in get her done mode.
Yeah, I am.
Heavier the pack, the faster we go. Not even gonna be able to close those puppies. This is why you called me up to come experience Alaska, so you could sleep in this stinky tent with me and blow up your pad while I fart in your face?
Yeah. Love it.
All soaking wet. It's like a bomb went off in here. Won't show you what the outside of camp looks like. Bear in the lower portion of the screen. Pretty nice grizzly. She's a winter wonderland this morning. Probably about what it looks like in here in December, November.
Boots were frozen solid. Had to beat them on.
That's when you know you're having fun.
Yeah.
We got the kinks on right now we're ready. Well, I reckon we'll go back to camp, be ready next time. We've been keeping our eye on this bear. This is the one we saw earlier. Been keeping an eye out for him all morning. He was in the creek bottom. Got downwind of us. Obviously with the sheep meat in camp. Would have been a nice meal for him, but that's a big old bear. He knows better.
It just looks like he's got a lot of good fat on his hind end.
Yeah, he's thick.
A whole lot different than that straggly one we saw on the river the other day.
or mark the landing strip.
It's a nice one though. Cool character. That's pretty wild. Pot hooks, they call those.
Oh yeah.
This would probably be a pot hooks too, but yeah, that's pretty wild. Lots of bone on that puppy, innit? Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Church.
That's a lot better than what you called me earlier.
I was gonna say, I've called you a lot worse than that. You never flipped me off.
Gay product. Eric Church.
Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan. Yeah, wonderful. Kind.
Well, a lot of people would take that as a compliment. Yeah. Two wildly successful and talented individuals. You being their love child and all. I think I see a Booner rock rat.
Yeah, I saw him down there hopping around.
He's standing proud. Up here glassing for caribou. I love that when he comes in, just gets all slow and quiet, and he's just feeling, he's going slow so we can feel the wind. Well, he flew right to your garbage bag, Doug, and he didn't tip it over, so.
Should have put my sleeping pad on that end and blamed it on him.
Yeah, you owe me a sleeping pad. Like a kid at Christmas, eh, Dougie?
Yeah. New stove. Another new stove.
They send all three of those back out again.
Stroganoff. Somebody's Nalgene.
That's not water in there.
My Nalgene.
I think that's fire water.
Yeah, fire water. Yes.
Oh boy, mountain money.
TP.
Oh jeez, yeah.
Lights. Oh man, Merry Christmas to us.
Ooh, batteries, thank you. Hubba Hubba Emily.
That's it.
Compactor bag, yeah.
Compactor bag.
That's all we need. Gosh, we're set for the winter. Did we get any Coleman fuel?
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, maybe it's in here, but I doubt it. Dougie saved our sketch, our game plan sketch, our reference. So 3 game bags represented the 3 mountain spines. One compactor bag was the valley floor, the other, the tent, was the mountain tops. And if the sheep were feeding, we used a green tarp. If they were bedded, we used the sleeping pad. Worked pretty good. It was a pretty tight system. Yeah. Dougie ad-libbed a little bit. And when he did, I knew exactly what he was talking about. But
only one sleeping pad and one sheep were harmed in all this.
Yeah, how tell us that story.
What, my sleeping pad?
Yeah.
Like 50 holes in it now. Man. It was a windy day, once again, so using tons of rocks to hold it down. The sheep kept moving, so I had to keep moving them. And I blew it up and went to bed, and it went flat instantly.
I'm taking her for the team. What we won't, gosh, we're a pretty dynamic duo. What we won't sacrifice for our hunter. I don't know if I had to sacrifice my sleeping pad for him though. Dougie would. He's got a heart of gold, that guy.
My sleeping pad.
Broke a pole.
Broke a tracking pole.
Broke 2 more trucking poles.
Yeah. We took a beating. We kept moving.
The mountain darn near killed us, but we got her done. Now we're looking for the wily caribou.
Celebratory pour.
Easy, big dog. Never saw a man get off of a mountain that fast.
Did my smile get a little bit bigger?
Yeah, I got a bunch in mind, actually, now that you say that.
I'm the only one that keeps anything clean around here, bro.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's always been a big problem. Staying as cleanly as Doug.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers.
Let's pour them up. Those are pretty dainty servings for a hunt like this.
Yeah. Well, we got backup.
We got a chaser.
Yeah, we got backup. Alrighty.
Thanks, fellas, for all the hard work, partnership, friends.
Absolutely. Great team effort. Thank you.
Cheers.
Were we supposed to slam it, or is that just a Dougie thing?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, he's gonna get a lippy. What a fabulous evening, huh? No caribou.
It was beyond those caribou that we saw this morning. It still was just a fantastic day. I mean, the sunshine just makes you feel. I mean, and the view, my gosh, just after finally getting a sheep, it's just to sit back and enjoy the scenery and the chat, just different topics.
Yeah. Soak it in. Like so many people, they'll come to hunt in Alaska and then they like kill an animal. It's like, okay, well, how soon can a plane come? It's just like, let it soak in a little bit. Just, enjoy those last day or two. Eat some of the meat, build a fire if you can. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you'll be home so darn quick and back to the rat race. We never did, we saw that one group of caribou as we were having coffee this morning. They just stormed right on through. We kind of made a mad dash at them, but they were moving through. Never did see another caribou today. But we've been seeing them every day here, in and out. So we're hopeful here in the next couple of days we'll run into a good bull. But until then, little drinky, and we got some goods in here. We got an onion, garlic, butter, bacon, eggs. We're pretty much on cloud 9. Lots of garlic. Oh.
Get up in the morning.
Yeah. Not much of a sourdough meal. We kind of got everything we need here. How do you like your meat, Kev?
Pretty raw. However you cook it.
Rare-ish?
However you cook it, dude. After what we've eaten the last 2 weeks, I'm thinking any meat is just going to be really good.
Yeah. Oh, did I have forks out? There we go.
Looks like it's done perfectly.
How good's that taste?
Wasn't sure if I'd ever get to tell what it tasted like, huh?
Can't beat it, huh?
That is awesome. Well done, Billy.
The best. Go, man. Yeah, eating off the knife. That's some sourdough stuff there.
Oh my. Quit cooking, dude. I'm stuffed. I ain't nowhere to eat anymore.
You're done?
I am done.
Tell you what.
Plate full.
I'll eat the rest of the sheep meat. You drink the rest of the whiskey.
You got a deal.
We knew what the answer was.
I love you, Aaron.
Did we determine that's whiskey?
No, we're not even sure. We're pretty sure there's perfume. It's kind of like, what do they call that, wapatuli, when you throw in whatever you got. So there's like some turpentine, some old avgas.
Mix them together.
That's where our Coleman fuel was. It was our Coleman fuel that we didn't get.
Drink it.
I'd have to believe so. I mean, that's really what they're intended for. It's like, you know, that's.
Got a break in the weather. Got the hurry up, pack her up, ship Kevin out of here.
Yeah, I'd like to play around with that someday.
Almost as bad as climbing Sheep Mountain.
Down to Dodge. Okay. All good?
Growing up on a farm, kind of just trudge through the day, and there's not really a whole lot of, I guess, emotion to it. You're just, you know, you're taught a lot of work ethic just by the hard work that has to get done. So you feel like you're a hard worker, but mentally you just have to kind of trudge through it. And that's the way I grew up, which I learned a lot from my parents, my father. Work ethic, just tremendous work ethic. I mean, he still gets up every single day.
That guy never stops working. Look at you.
He's got the same routine, except now instead of finishing at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, he's usually done by 5. But he's still up at 5:30, 6 o'clock to go about taking care of the cattle and fixing the machinery and such. So work ethic, you think you've got work ethic, and then you go on a sheep hunt and you realize that there's a lot more challenges in life, and it's tough to describe. And I think everybody grows up in a different type of family environment, so their experience is certainly going to be different than mine. What I would definitely say to my kids is, it's very important, I think, to continually challenge yourself, because you will learn new things, whether it's challenging yourself mentally, physically, or a combination thereof. Doesn't need to be through a sheep hunt. It can be through, whatever your passion is, but continually challenge yourself and seek new opportunities too, because you'll learn things. I love adventures because of that aspect. This just was an extreme adventure and had a lot of things that I couldn't control. So I think that's another thing to learn too, is in today's life, you wake up, you flip the light switch, you turn on the water, you can have hot or cold water, you've got toilets, you've got all the modern conveniences. If you don't have something, by gosh, you just run to the nearest convenience store. Things are going to happen that you can't control that may be very challenging and difficult. There's going to be a lot of unknowns in life, and you wake up every day just blessed that there is another day, that you're healthy, your family's healthy, and just don't take that for granted. Don't just assume that everything's going to happen the way that it did yesterday. There's going to be a lot of things that happen throughout our lifetime that are going to be different. There's going to be a lot of changes, and don't take every day for granted. Live every day to the fullest, and challenge yourself. Definitely want to thank my wife and my family for putting up with me and allowing me to go on these adventures. They're very willing to let me go, and I certainly appreciate that, and I don't take that for granted. I want to certainly thank Billy and Doug, Matt and Emily, the outfitters are fantastic people, just great people, people that you would love to be, if you're going to be stranded on an island, you'd want them there. They'd do anything for you, and I don't know if I would ever went on a sheep hunt if it wasn't for Billy, so certainly owe him a tremendous amount of thanks.
Well, just some advice for outfitters. It'd be wise of them to just airdrop some booze like every couple days to their guides and packers. So at the end of the season, they just go get all messed up and crazy. That way you kind of ease into it a little bit. Otherwise, it's all built up.
Yeah.
So Matt and Emily, heed the advice.
So about 4 days ago, lost his hat, so I lent him my balaclava, which is a big fat meathead. It's now more like a belt than it is a balaclava. Then he's gonna stretch that hat out too. I love you. I love you, man. No, and I caught it. Automatic.
Thank God, 'cause I don't know if I could do it again.
What'd you do that with? Oh, pretty close.
She lands airplanes, catches blueberries in her mouth.
Ask suitcase.
Well, like I always do, get late in the hunt, chasing caribou, kind of break the rules. First commandment, caribou hunting, never chase after caribou that are feeding away from you, particularly when they're 2.5 miles away. But what are we doing? Chasing after caribou that are feeding away from us.
For more modern-day mountain man DVDs and digital downloads, log on to BillyMollsAdventures.com. Here you'll also find books, a wide variety of merch, and information on hunting opportunities with Billy. When he's not hunting, Billy travels nationally and internationally as a public speaker, sharing his captivating, soul-stirring tales of adventure by way of his one-of-a-kind, down-to-earth delivery at corporate and community events, Christian outreaches, and conservation organizations. Just like the Alaskan wilderness, no one leaves a Billy Molls presentation the same person as they enter it. Log on or call for more info.